Prince Harry now takes issue with the First Amendment here in America. He says, I don't really understand much about the First Amendment, but I think that it's bonkers.
What else did he say? Go to the. I want to hear exactly what he said because I don't want to misrepresent such a wise royal man like himself.
Here we go. Here's his quote. I've got so much I want to say about the First Amendment as I sort of understand it, but it's bonkers, Harry told the podcast. I don't want to start going down the First Amendment route because that's a huge subject and one which I don't understand because I've only been here a short time. But you can find a loophole in anything. You can capitalize or exploit what's not said rather than uphold what is said.
Bonkers.
It's bonkers.
That statement was bonkers. I couldn't follow anything.
Yeah, it doesn't even make any sense.
It's
no
like
wonder
this,
you're not talking about the First Amendment. You don't even know what it is.
You know a pseudo-intellectual when you see one,
Yes.
and Prince Harry is by far a pseudo-intellectual. There's no doubt about it. Just by reading that statement alone, you can tell.
He didn't have his wife there to like tell, make the talking points
right.
to puppet the usual leftist talking points. So he's just like,
cards.
It's just bonkers, mate.
It's like the First Amendment used to be a very sacred thing, especially, here in America, it was a very sacred thing. That's where we have the First Amendment. But, back in the 1970s, literal Nazis went out in, I forget the city that it was, but it was a very Jewish city. These were literal Nazi skinheads. They went out in a Jewish city and Jewish neighborhood, and they basically said, screw Jewish people, right? And they hated the Jewish people. And they were sued and everything. And then the ACLU, an organization that used to stand for something, stood by the Nazis and said they had the legal right to go out and protest in this neighborhood. As long as they weren't being violent or threatening anyone specifically, they were able to go out in this neighborhood, and they won the lawsuit, right? They won the lawsuit. The Nazis won the lawsuit that they were allowed to do this. The First Amendment used to be something that everyone in America upheld as something that we needed, that was a virtue, that we were the only country ever to be founded on the first things first, that you have the ability to speak your mind and to protest and to have your own religion, all of this. And now it's like totally the opposite. Where I go to marches, like I've gone to marches and just gone out and interviewed people on the street, and they literally say like, no, I don't really believe in the First Amendment anymore. Or if you're saying something that hurts someone's feelings, you shouldn't be allowed to say it. There's a literal video of me asking a chick that at Berkeley, and she says that exact same thing. If you're saying something that's hurtful, you shouldn't be allowed to say it. ACLU, which used to defend Nazis, is now on, I'm not saying the Nazis are good. We're just saying, they used to defend, it was anyone could have the right to free speech. And they would defend these types of people. Now they're on Twitter posting about how men can have periods. Yep. It's like the things that we used to hold sacred in America are no longer sacred.
And it's because people have no reference as to the history of our country, as to the history of other countries, where they have no reference as to how a country works or how it falls when there is a lack of a First Amendment. There is a lack of freedom of speech, of press, of religion, of assembly, of petition. It's just crazy. And now you look at the world today where their only reference of America is through social media and the things that they see by the left and all these platforms that are controlled by the left. So it's very easy to indoctrinate somebody into thinking that the First Amendment is unimportant, and that is exactly what is happening.
You see that newsroom clip? This came out years ago, but it was that newsroom clip where it's who's the guy from Dumb and Dumber?
Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey?
No, not Jim Carrey. The other one.
Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. And he's in that news. You know what I'm talking about? He's like, someone asked him if America's the best country.
Oh,
and he's like,
yeah.
no, all these other countries, they're the best countries ever. And like, America sucks. And it's like, he's talking about free speech. And he's like, all these other countries have freedom. And it's like, they really don't. They really don't. Look at these other countries and look at how America is, with that it is a God-given right that you have the ability to speak your mind. No other constitution is built upon the fact that this was a right endowed on you by your creator, that this is a right that is given to you not by your government, but by your creator, okay? That the founding fathers knew this. This is why we are the best country ever, because we were set up in this way specifically, right? No other country has that. Yeah. And so the fact that that is being disbanded in America goes into the fact that, yes, the left doesn't want you to support God, and the left doesn't want you to be able to speak your mind against what they are doing, right? So it is a coordinated attack on both of these pillars of America at once to try and take this country down. If you don't think it's a coordinated attack, you got to wake up and open your eyes, buddy, because they've been doing this for years, and they are trying to take us down by first taking away your right to speak and then taking away your right to pray to whoever you want to.
Yeah, and if people don't understand that if everyone is not protected by the First Amendment, no one is protected by the First Amendment. Of course, that's absent of being violent, like we spoke about, and harming people. But it's such an important right that we get to exercise here in this country, and it's something that makes us unique as a people. And people bear no importance on it anymore. They don't want to protect it anymore. And if anything, we look at the First Amendment as though it's okay, you can say whatever you want as long as I feel safe and protected by what you say. And that's a horrible lens to look at the world through. And that is where we're going right now as a nation.